Okay, let's get real for a second. You've probably been choking down cottage cheese because somebody told you it's the perfect protein for aging muscles, right? Those lumpy curds that taste like, well, let's just say they're an acquired taste. They brag about 25 grams of protein per cup. Eat it every day, they said. But here's what nobody told you. While you're forcing yourself to eat something that looks like it's already been chewed, you're missing out on foods that not only taste better, but actually work faster and more effectively at stopping muscle loss. If you're interested in this topic, hit like, subscribe, and type "interested" in the comments, and I'll give you a heart. And I'll warn you, what I'm about to say might make you a little angry, because there are foods out there with 40, 50, even 60 grams of protein per serving. Foods that actually taste good, foods packed with muscle-building compounds. Cottage cheese doesn't even come close to offering. And here's the kicker. Some of them cost less than that tub of cottage cheese sitting in your fridge right now. Now, don't get me wrong, cottage cheese isn't terrible, it's just mediocre. And when you're over 50, losing up to 1% of your muscle mass every single year, yes, that's backed by the National Institute on Aging, mediocre won't cut it. You need extraordinary. You need foods that not only maintain muscle, but actually rebuild it. Here's another American fact for you. The average US adult over 60 eats about 2,000 calories a day, but often gets less than 70 grams of protein total. That's far below what experts now recommend for preventing sarcopenia. If cottage cheese is your main strategy, you're already starting from behind. Quick question before we go deeper. Do you honestly enjoy cottage cheese, or do you just eat it because you think you have to? Let me know in the comments, because most people I talk to admit it feels like punishment. Here's the thing about cottage cheese that drives me crazy. Yes, it has about 25 grams of protein per cup, but most of that is casein protein. Casein digests slowly. It's fine if you're going to bed and want an overnight drip of amino acids. But during the day, when you're moving, working, or even just taking a walk, your muscles need quick-acting proteins to stop breakdown. Cottage cheese just sits in your stomach like a lump, releasing amino acids at a snail's pace, when what you really need is a rapid response tea. And let's talk about what cottage cheese doesn't give you. No real creatine, the compound that helps your muscles actually generate power, hardly any omega-3s to fight inflammation, barely enough B12 to meet what aging bodies truly need, no carnosine to buffer acid when your muscles burn during activity. It's basically protein and some calcium swimming in a watery mess. But the problem isn't just what's inside, it's compliance. I've talked to hundreds of Americans over 50, and they tell me the same story. They buy cottage cheese with good intentions. They choke it down a few times, then it sits in the fridge until it spoils. Because let's be honest, unless you're one of the rare people who genuinely likes it, eating cottage cheese feels like punishment. Now, here's the kicker that most people never check: the sodium. 1 cup of cottage cheese can pack up to 800 milligrams of sodium. That's a third of the American Heart Association's recommended daily limit. A little sodium is necessary for muscle contraction, sure, but this much? It makes you bloated, holds on to water, and for millions of older Americans already struggling with high blood pressure, it can be dangerous. Here's a US fact that should make you stop and think. Nearly half of all American adults, about 47%, have hypertension. Cottage cheese isn't helping that number, it's quietly pushing it higher. So not only is cottage cheese mediocre for your muscles, it's actually working against your health in other ways. And the truth is, you deserve better. Quick check-in. Do you want me to show you the first cottage cheese replacement food that not only tastes good, but actually delivers almost double the protein with bonus muscle-building nutrients? Type yes in the comments if you're ready to see it. Let me introduce you to something that's about to change the way you think about convenient protein. Canned mackerel. Now hold up, don't make that face. I'm not talking about your grandmother's fishy-smelling kitchen. Modern canned mackerel is completely different. It's clean, flavorful, and, more importantly, it's a muscle-building powerhouse. Here's the stat that should blow your mind. One 4-ounce can of mackerel delivers 42 grams of protein. 42! That's almost double what you get from a full cup of cottage cheese. And this isn't slow-digesting casein. This is complete protein with every essential amino acid your muscles crave, ready to go to work immediately. But mackerel isn't just protein, it's loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, about 4,000 milligrams per can. Research from the University of Aberdeen shows omega-3s don't just fight inflammation, they actually make your muscles more sensitive to protein. In other words, they crank up the volume on your muscle-building response. People over 60 who got enough omega-3s build twice as much muscle from the same amount of protein. Now here's a fact closer to home. According to the USDA, the average American eats only 1.6 ounces of fish per week, far below the recommended 8 ounces. That means most people are missing out on this muscle-preserving benefit almost entirely. And let's talk about vitamin D. One can of mackerel provides over 100% of your daily vitamin D needs, and it's the good kind, D3, the same type your body makes from sunlight. That's critical because about 42% of US adults are vitamin D deficient. Low vitamin D means muscle weakness, poor balance, and a high risk of falls. Cottage cheese can't even compete here. Then here's what really sealed the deal for me. Mackerel is rich in CoQ10, the nutrient your mitochondria, the little power plants inside your muscle cells, need to generate energy. Levels of CoQ10 drop as you age, which is why you feel more tired and weaker. A can of mackerel gives you more CoQ10 than most $100.00 supplements. And let's not forget the taste. Today's canned mackerel comes in olive oil, tomato sauce, lemon, hot pepper, you name it. Mash it with avocado, add hot sauce, or spread it on whole grain crackers. It's delicious, portable, and way more satisfying than forcing down watery curds. Price? Usually $2.00 to $3.00 per can. That's cheaper than a tub of cottage cheese, and you're getting nearly double the protein, plus omega-3s, vitamin D, B12, and CoQ10. Here's my challenge for you. Next time you're at Walmart or your local grocery store, skip the cottage cheese aisle and grab 2 cans of mackerel instead. Try it once this week and tell me in the comments what you think. Your muscles will thank you. Now, let's switch gears and talk about a food that surprises almost everyone. Edamame. You've probably seen these little green soybeans at Japanese restaurants. But here's what most people don't realize. They are one of the most underrated, muscle-preserving foods you can buy in America. 1 cup of shelled edamame contains a whopping 37 grams of complete protein. Yes, you heard that right. A plant food with more protein than cottage cheese. And unlike many plant proteins, edamame delivers all the essential amino acids your muscles need. But edamame goes beyond protein. It's rich in isoflavones, compounds that have been shown in multiple studies to reduce inflammation and preserve muscle mass in older adults. Forget the myths. These don't feminize men. In reality, they help maintain the hormonal environment you need for muscle growth and balance. Here's another advantage: fiber. 1 cup of edamame packs about 8 grams of fiber. Cottage cheese? 0. Fiber isn't just about digestion, it feeds your gut bacteria, which produce compounds like butyrate that actively help protect muscle tissue. Americans are chronically short on fiber. The average intake is about 16 grams a day, less than half the recommended 30-38 grams. Edamame helps close that gap while building muscle. And check this out, one serving gives you 100% of your daily folate needs. Folate is essential for creating new cells, including muscle cells, and many people over 50 in the US are deficient without realizing it. Add in 25% of your daily magnesium, and you've got a food that actively prevents cramps, weakness, and poor recovery. Issues millions of Americans over 60 struggle with every single day. And here's the best part, it's ridiculously convenient. You can buy frozen shelled edamame at Target, Costco, or any major grocery store. 5 minutes in the microwave with a little sea salt and you're done. It's faster than opening and stirring cottage cheese, or grab the dry roasted version for a crunchy protein-packed snack you can carry anywhere. Here's my challenge for you. The next time you do your grocery run, throw a bag of frozen edamame in your cart. Try it as your evening snack instead of ice cream or chips. Then come back here and tell me, does it beat cottage cheese? Now let's talk about a protein source that almost nobody considers, but absolutely should. Venison. Yes, deer meat. Before you say, I'm not a hunter, relax. Farm-raised venison is sold in many grocery stores across the US. Now, and it's a total game changer for muscle health. A 3-ounce serving of venison gives you 31 grams of protein with only about 3 grams of fat. That's more protein than a full cup of cottage cheese in half the size. But it's not just quantity. Venison protein is one of the most bioavailable you can eat, meaning your body can use up to 97% of it for muscle building. And here's where venison leaves cottage cheese in the dust. Iron. Venison is loaded with heme iron, the kind your muscles actually use to carry oxygen. One serving has about 4 milligrams. Compare that to the plant-based iron in spinach or the tiny trace in cottage cheese. It's not even close. And here's a US fact. Around 10 million Americans are iron deficient. If your muscles feel weak, if you're winded just walking up the stairs, iron could be the missing piece. Or if you feel weak, if you're winded just walking up the stairs, iron could be the missing piece. Carnosine. Venison is naturally high in carnosine, which buffers acid buildup in your muscles. That burn you feel when you exercise? Carnosine helps prevent it, so you can stay active longer. Cottage cheese? Zero carnosine. Zinc. One serving of venison gives you about 30% of your daily zinc. Zinc is critical for protein synthesis and hormone support, including testosterone, which both men and women need for muscle maintenance. Low zinc equals poor muscle function. Period. B vitamins. Venison is rich in B12, B6, niacin, and riboflavin. These aren't optional extras. They're essential for converting protein into actual muscle. Without them, you could eat all the protein in the world and still lose strength. And here's something most people don't know. Venison even provides meaningful amounts of omega-3 fatty acids because deer eat plants, not grain-like factory-farmed beef. That means you get anti-instimular benefits along with your protein. Taste-wise, venison is lean but flavorful, slightly sweet, almost like beef but cleaner. Cook it medium rare to medium and you'll see why people who try it rarely go back. Here's my challenge for you. If you've never had venison, this is the week to try it. Many stores like Whole Foods and even Walmart sell venison steaks or ground venison. Grill it, pan-sear it, or make burgers. Then drop a comment and tell me, does it beat beef? Stay with me here because this one might surprise you. The next food on our list is octopus. I know, it sounds exotic, maybe even a little intimidating, but it might be the single most underrated protein source on the planet. And once you understand what it does for your muscles, you'll never look at cottage cheese the same way again. Just 4 ounces of cooked octopus packs 35 grams of complete protein with less than 2 grams of fat. That's nearly pure protein, better than most powders. except it comes with a treasure chest of natural compounds your muscles desperately need. Let's start with taurine. You've probably seen taurine listed on energy drinks, but in octopus, it's the real deal. Taurine improves muscle contractility, reduces oxidative stress, and slows age muscle loss. Japanese studies have found that taurine intake can reduce sarcopenia by up to 40%. Cottage cheese? It has virtually none. Then there's potassium. One serving of octopus gives you around 900 milligrams, more than 3 bananas. Potassium isn't just about stopping cramps. It's essential for proper muscle contraction and nerve signaling. Yet, here's the US fact. About 98% of Americans don't get enough potassium. That deficiency translates directly into weakness, fatigue, and slower recovery. Octopus is also incredibly rich in iron, about 10 milligrams per serving, more than half your daily needs. But unlike most foods, it comes with copper and B12, which help your body actually use that iron for oxygen delivery to your muscles. Think about that. Stronger oxygen flow, more stamina, and less hitting the wall. And it doesn't stop there. Octopus delivers about 140% of your daily selenium. Selenium powers your thyroid, which regulates metabolism, including muscle growth and repair. Many Americans with unexplained fatigue and muscle weakness are walking around selenium deficient, and cottage cheese doesn't fix that. Now, let's tackle the taste and texture, because that's what most people worry about. Properly cooked octopus isn't rubbery. It's tender, slightly sweet, and takes on whatever flavors you season it with. Grill it quickly over high heat, or slow cook it until soft. Add olive oil and lemon, and it's better than most steak. Here's the kicker. It's more convenient than cottage cheese. You can buy frozen octopus that's already cleaned and pre-cooked in many US grocery stores. Keep it in the freezer, thaw what you need, and you've got a protein source that lasts months, not days like cottage cheese. Here's my challenge for you. If you're brave enough, grab a pack of frozen octopus from your grocery store this week. Cook it simple, just olive oil, garlic, and lemon. Then come back here and let me know. Did it surprise you? Now let's talk about a food most Americans literally throw away. Turkey gizzards. I know it sounds old-fashioned, something your grandmother used to simmer at Thanksgiving, but if you're serious about fighting sarcopenia, gizzards might be one of the most powerful weapons you've never considered. 1 cup of cooked turkey gizzards delivers 44 grams of protein. That's almost double what a cup of cottage cheese gives you. And it's not just protein. It's highly bioavailable, meaning your body can use it immediately for muscle repair. But the benefits don't stop there. Iron. Gizzards are loaded with about 6 milligrams per serving. And here's the bonus. They also contain vitamin C, which helps your body absorb that iron more effectively. That's rare in animal foods. Considering that iron deficiency anemia affects over 3 million Americans every year, this makes gizzards a secret weapon against fatigue and weakness. Collagen plus glucosamine plus chondroitin. These compounds support not just your muscles, but the joints and connective tissues that hold everything together. Americans spend over $1 billion, 0 cents a year, on joint supplements containing these same ingredients. You could get them naturally from gizzards instead of buying another bottle of pills. B vitamins, especially B12 and folate, both essential for protein synthesis. Without them, your body literally can't turn protein into new muscle tissue. Cottage cheese offers very little by comparison. So, and your myriads, especially Descerne, 1. Now let's be real, gizzards are chewy. But that's not a bad thing. It forces you to slow down and actually chew your food, which makes you feel full longer. And here's the trick. Cook them low and slow, or use a pressure cooker. Add onions, garlic, and spices, and they become tender, flavorful, and deeply satisfying. Here's a fact most people miss. Turkey gizzards are dirt cheap. In many US grocery stores, you can buy them for about $2.00 a pound. That works out to less than 3 cents per gram of protein, making gizzards one of the most cost-effective muscle foods in America. Here's my challenge for you. Next time you see turkey gizzards in the meat section, don't walk past them. Grab a pack, cook them up with some herbs and spices, and see how you feel after adding this forgotten superfood to your diet. Then let me know in the comments. Did they surprise you? Now let's get into something that sounds trendy but is actually ancient. Hemp protein concentrate. And no, I'm not talking about smoking anything. I mean the concentrated protein made from hemp seeds that's finally starting to show up in American health stores. Here's why it matters. Hemp protein concentrate delivers about 70 grams of protein per 100 grams. That's more concentrated than almost any animal protein, and it's a complete protein with all 9 essential amino acids. Just 3 tablespoons give you about 30 grams of protein, more than a cup of cottage cheese with none of the dairy drawbacks. But here's what makes hemp protein truly special. It doesn't just have the 9 essential amino acids, it has all 20 amino acids, including high levels of arginine, which helps your body make nitric oxide for better blood flow to muscles, and glutamine, which protects against muscle breakdown under stress. The omega profile is perfect, a 3:1 ratio of omega-6 to omega-3. That's the same balance human bodies evolved with, and it helps reduce inflammation while speeding recovery. Americans currently eat closer to 20:1, thanks to processed oils, which actually fuels inflammation. Hemp protein helps correct that imbalance. The mineral content is outstanding. One serving gives you 45% of your daily magnesium plus iron, zinc, and phosphorus. And here's a US fact. Nearly 50% of Americans don't get enough magnesium. That deficiency leads to cramps, weakness, and poor muscle recovery. And unlike cottage cheese, hemp protein won't leave you bloated. No lactose, no gas, no digestive issues. In fact, it contains natural fiber that actually supports gut health. Flavor-wise, it's nutty and earthy, not bland like cottage cheese. You can stir it into oatmeal, blend it into smoothies, or even add it to savory dishes like soups and sauces. Instead of just being okay, it actually tastes good. And here's the kicker. Hemp protein concentrate is made right here in the US. Farmers in states like Colorado and Kentucky are producing it legally now. So you're not just fueling your muscles, you're supporting American agriculture. Here's my challenge for you. Pick up a bag of hemp protein concentrate this week. Try it in your morning smoothie or stir it into your oatmeal. Then comment back. Did it beat your old scoop of whey or your tub of cottage cheese? Now let's finish strong with a food that built American bodies long before we ever started eating processed dairy. Bison. This isn't some trendy superfood. Bison was the original protein source for Native American tribes, who thrived on it for centuries. And today, it's making a comeback in US grocery stores and restaurants. And for good reason. Just 4 ounces of bison gives you about 35 grams of protein with only 3 grams of fat. That's leaner than chicken breast, yet more flavorful than beef, and the protein quality is exceptional. All essential amino acids in the right proportions to trigger muscle growth. But bison brings more to the table than just protein. Conjugated linoleic acid. Bison is naturally high in CLA, a type of fat shown in studies to preserve lean muscle while reducing body fat. Americans spend millions on CLA supplements every year, but you can get it naturally here. Creatine. This is the compound that helps muscles generate explosive power. Creatine levels drop as we age. and that's part of why older adults feel weaker. Bison is one of the richest natural sources. Iron plus B vitamins. Bison contains about 4 milligrams of heme iron per serving, plus high levels of selenium, zinc, and B vitamins like B12. Remember, iron deficiency affects millions of Americans, and low B12 is especially common in seniors. Both directly tied to muscle weakness. Cleaner farming. Unlike factory-farmed beef, most bison in the US are pasture-raised and grass-fed. That means fewer antibiotics, more omega-3s, and a cleaner, more natural protein source. And here's a surprising fact. According to the USDA, bison is now available in over 2,500 grocery stores across the US, including chains like Costco, Sprouts, and Whole Foods. This isn't exotic anymore. It's accessible. Flavor-wise, it's rich, slightly sweet, and deeply satisfying. The only rule is, don't overcook it. Medium rare to medium is perfect. Overcook it and it dries out since it's so lean. Here's my challenge for you. Next time you see ground bison or bison steaks in the store, pick some up. Make burgers or pan-sear steak. Then come back here and tell me, did it beat your regular beef? So let's bring this all together. For decades, cottage cheese has been promoted as the safe protein choice for older adults. Your doctor probably recommended it. Fitness magazines swore by it. Maybe your neighbor eats it religiously. But here's the truth, cottage cheese is mediocre. And when you're losing up to 1% of your muscle mass every year after age 50, that's according to the National Institute on Aging, mediocre isn't enough. What your muscles actually need is protein that works fast, plus cofactors that cottage cheese simply doesn't provide. Foods like mackerel, nearly double the protein, omega-3s, vitamin D, CoQ10, edamame, plant-based protein with fiber, folate, and magnesium, venison iron, carnosine, zinc, and highly bioavailable protein, octopus, taurine, potassium, selenium, and muscle-protecting compounds. The turkey gizzards, iron, B vitamins, collagen, and joint support nutrients. Hemp protein, complete plant protein plus omega balance and minerals. Bison, SLA, creatine, iron, and clean American-raised muscle fuel. These aren't weird alternatives. They are what humans have thrived on for centuries, long before processed cheese curds were sold as health food. And the kicker? Many of these foods cost less per gram of protein than cottage cheese. According to USDA price data, here's the real takeaway. Cottage cheese is just protein and calcium, with too much sodium and too little of everything else. These 7 foods, they give you protein plus the compounds that switch on muscle growth. Omega-3s, creatine, carnosine, B12, iron, zinc. That's the difference between maintaining and rebuilding. So here's your action plan. Stop relying on cottage cheese as your muscle saver. Pick 3 of the foods we covered today: mackerel, edamame, venison, octopus, gizzards, hemp protein, or bison. Add 1 to your meals every day for the next 30 days. Track your energy, strength, and recovery. Take photos, do simple chair stand tests, and write down how you feel. Then share your results with our community. Because the truth is, millions of Americans are quietly losing strength and independence every year to sarcopenia, and they're doing it while spooning down cottage cheese, thinking they're doing the right thing. Mother, hello, are you wrestling with it ever? It doesn't have to be that way. You can turn it around. Even at 60, 70, or 80, your muscles are waiting for the right fuel. Give them what actually works, not what the food industry has been selling you for decades. In the comments, type stronger if you're ready to ditch cottage cheese and start fueling your body with foods that actually rebuild muscle. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe, because this isn't the last time I'm going to tell you the truth about nutrition.